why I believe most of my life was vaguely emotionally traumatizing to me. Before I start to answer this question in great detail, I just want to clearly express that, or clearly communicate that the intent of this video is to be more of a retelling or a re-exploration of my memories, or maybe my hyperactive mind just wants to think about and talk about this topic in great depth at the moment. And also I'd like to think that the experiences I am about to share about myself may be helpful for people to be aware of, and might help to give more clearer insights into the struggles of neurodivergent people. And to be fair on all people watching this video, I also want to briefly mention that there is a potential triggering, or this is an announced trigger warning for people who I don't know how sensitive you are to talks about physical violence, or even some sexual comments. So if that is a concern for you, you are welcome to stop watching this video now. But if that is not a concern, then you are welcome to continue listening. So to circle back to this question, why I believe most of my life was vaguely emotionally traumatizing, the short answer is that I am stuck in a very complex environment where no single part has a or is controlled by something unifying, or I'm controlled by people who do wish the best for all the people around them. And that's my best attempt to try and summarize a very complex answer down to a short answer. But I will now unpack the longer answer by describing my experiences. So as someone who I identify as autistic mixed with ADHD, and based on my memories of my experiences in life from a very young biological age, there is anecdotal evidence to suggest that this world was just not built to be aware of and to support people like me too easily. And maybe things have become much better now than they were when I was much younger. But I did experience great suffering when I was much younger, and I still have experience, and I still experience. I've still experienced some suffering, even as recently as a few weeks or even months before now. But just to be clear, I believe I am at the moment in a stable emotional state of mind, and I typically try to be. This is not some kind of I am not intending this video to be a sad look at my life experiences, but more a detailed kind of remembering of my own experiences, and and the many complex related thoughts about how this world and its people kind of contributed to my experiences. Um, so to go back to answering that question, um, I do recall that I clearly recall that I did experience great challenges since I was a very young, a very young, a very biological young person. And I recall having great struggles with my family because we were part of the or part of a kind of Asian culture, and part of that culture means they value the community more than the individual. So for someone like me who had unique struggles with life, that my family was not really aware of and not really prepared for, then it caused many frustrations and many conflicts. So one of the dislikes I have about the Asian culture that I grew in was that they had this rule that biological older people were people of higher authority, and that authorities must be obeyed with no questioning, and they cannot be challenged on anything. And me being the unique, or me being the highly challenged person that I was, I often question things, and I may not have been able to clearly express this at my young age, but I believe I did not really agree with this part of the Asian culture that seems to try to take away my control and take away my freedom of thought by enforcing rules that have been always part of Asian culture historically. So that was one of my challenges. And the second challenge was I was under enormous pressure. I'm under the same culture to perform well with my academics. And I believe that is a typical Asian culture expectation where the parents really push their children to just work extremely hard and to try and secure like a stable job, and it in a way like that does seem like a good intent, but I believe the execution of that was so poor that it mostly taught me that I had no agency, and I was forced to learn so many things in school that I may not have been interested in, and because of my genetic brain type, making me not very neurotypical, I struggled to fit into various things. So I struggled to fit into other people's social rules. I struggled to fit into other people's expectations, and unfortunately for me, that made me feel very angry most of the time, because when I was a very young person, it seems like I was being forced by my parents and by teachers at school to behave and speak and do things in very specific ways that were both difficult for me to copy, and also not something that really gave me a choice, and not something that I was something I understood or really valued. And I believe like now that I am much older, I believe a better a better parenting style, or a better way to teach children how to solve problems in a more mutually respectful way, should be to teach them agency from a young age. So it helps to give the children a sense that if they are presented with a situation, they should be given the choice to say yes or no to anything, and whatever they choose, they should be supported. But within reason, of course, because this can get very complex. Because I already immediately thought that if a child wants to, I guess overindulge in, let's say foods and sweets, then if there is a clear foreseeable, I guess results that may not be desired by both sides, then I can vaguely understand the temptation for the parents to jump in and force their children to follow a path that they believe is more healthy. But at the same time, I think that highly depends on the source of knowledge that the parents have, being trustworthy. But I think I might be going on a tangent here. So to circle back to my answer to this video's question. So one reason why I experienced great suffering as a neurodivergent person was because I was growing up in a family that was very like their culture does not really respect and doesn't really empower people, especially people who are perceived as having lower levels of authority. And this anecdotally seems to align with some other Asian cultures, like Japanese culture, because I hear people share stories that Asians or Japanese people are typically very repressed people, because their culture teaches them this idea of authority, and that if people try to challenge the authority, they are likely to be punished, or likely to experience some kind of negative result. So already at a young age, I was taught this enormous sense of fear that I did not like, and also me not being able to learn and thrive in ways that most people expect. So I guess my and I am talking much about my parents, but I believe they are not the only contributor to my life struggles. But I will say that a big part of my life was more challenging because of the parenting approach that I was exposed to. And kind of family is I guess where most children start their own learning and their own perceptions of the world and how they solve problems. So that was one reason. Slightly related to why I struggled with life, or struggle to have, I guess, a stable mental health and stable I guess stable a path for a future is because slightly related to the Asian culture. I also came from a very broken family. and what that means was my parents were always fighting, and they eventually became divorced, and I think that is partly because the Asian culture makes people very reoppressed, and any person in a couple's relationship, they are never really taught mutually respectful and a mutually agreed problem solving skills. And my parents would often fight each other, that they would yell at each other. And I did live a significant portion of my child life. I'm living in fear because my biological father, he did often express very intense levels of anger, and he would often lose his patience and become violently angry. And I don't really blame my father for being that way. I think he may also have been a victim of Asian culture, and I believe likely that back in his time, that there was less education about human psychology, and less awareness about neurodivergence. So my biological father, anecdotally speaking, probably had a similar genetic brain type to mine, where he tried to live a life that was not very compatible with him, and probably caused him to feel very frustrated most of the time. So what happens? So what that means for me is that in my family, that manifested as expressions of intense anger and shouting, and even physical violence. And I do recall that when I was a young child, there were times I was physically abused by my biological father, because I believe he probably struggled to manage his own emotions, or he struggled to process his stresses. And I guess when he believes that he was operating within the acceptable, I guess Asian culture expectations, when he decided, or when he thought he was acting as a disciplinary father, he may have taken that too far, and may have used excessive force. So for example, I clearly remember that when I was very young, if I did something that was perceived as trouble, or something bad by my parents, one time my biological father did actually slap me very hard at the back of my head, and caused me very intense pain. There was also another story that I recall, that my biological mother sharing, is that one time when I was extremely young, like maybe 4 years old, or maybe even younger, I was taken to a doctor, and and um, 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 apparently I would not stop crying, because the doctor tried to put me on a cold, like a metal surface, and baby me was very uncomfortable with that, and the doctor at that time was very impatient, and both my biological parents being there at the time. I forget the detail, but um, I think my biological father either hit me, or he may have like slammed me on that desk, or something. I I can't recall. I may have forgotten the details, but long story short, that was a form of physical violence that I experienced. But as I got older, I don't think my dad was as violent, but 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 in a way, I did not really live with my father too long because when I was like almost early teenager, like 10 or 11 years old, my parents did divorce, and we stopped living together, and that was partly because of one incident where um um my biological father almost killed my biological mother, and I don't know too much of the details behind that, but I just remember as a very young child that there was some conflicts between my parents, and I guess my father did not know what to do, so he expressed that well, he expressed the struggles to communicate with my mother with extreme violence. And when I was very young, I think my mother was she okay, maybe I won't go into too much detail to help respect my parents, but long story short, there was an incident. So but I don't recall that specific incident causing much direct trauma, because I was kind of like no direct emotional trauma, because I was very young, and I had a very hyperactive mind, and I probably and probably support for my family may have intervened quick enough to I guess prevent that emotional trauma for me and my younger brother. So that was one struggle for me in my life, that my family was very broken, and my parents struggled to reach mutual agreements, and they struggled to be mutually respectful with each other. And I'm not saying that I blame them entirely. I believe this might be a symptom of a larger problem, where maybe Asian culture doesn't really teach people how to communicate assertively, and doesn't teach people how to solve problems through peace, because there is so much focus on this idea of authority. It seems to imply to Asians that the only way to solve problems is to exercise extreme power, and I respectfully disagree with that idea. Now that I'm much older, and I have a clearer understanding, I believe, of this concept. So that was one challenge in my life. A second challenge was that my family was often moving homes. So this was happening also before my parents divorced, but this meant I never really maintained a stable friendship with any person, because my family had moved homes multiple times, and I had been in so many primary schools, and been in a multiple high schools, and each time I started to be in a new school, I had to start over, and at the time I recall feeling very shy or like very embarrassed because I was suddenly put into put into a group of people who likely had already established friendships or people who already had established histories, and I was like this alien person that was just thrown into a group of strangers. So I never really had a strong sense of like stability in my life, partly because of this family circumstance. Um, so that was another challenge. Another challenge was when I was in school. I did struggle to learn things in ways that people expected, and I struggled to interact and I struggled to communicate with people as well. And I clearly recall that even when I was like, I think 8 years old, I would be involved with fights, like a physical fights with some other people around my age at that time. I think that was partly because I was overwhelmed by the stresses in my family, and that may have manifested as similar expressions of like frustration and anger with the people around me in school. And I think this is partly, and I think this is a symptom of a problem with our education system that probably doesn't teach people enough skills on how to listen, how to mutually respect each other, and how to solve problems in a peaceful way. So I was basically like under much pressure from multiple directions. So I was under pressure from my family for not being I guess Asian enough, and I was under pressure from teachers in my school for not being behaved enough. And I basically had no person to turn to for support or for safety. It seems kind of like I was fighting for myself, and the only way to defend myself in a desperate situation was to kind of emulate my biological father by expressing extreme anger. So I was often or I'm always a very angry child, and even a very angry teenager. And even after the divorce between my parents, me and my younger brother struggled to communicate, and struggled to I guess find mutual agreements. And I believe the reason for that was multiple things. So partly, I I think the Asian culture I experienced did a very good job of taking away my sense of control, and taking away my sense of agency. So unfortunately, that created a self fulfilling prophecy, where I was trying to regain the freedom in my life that that I always wanted, but I could never express that need. And unfortunately, I think that indirectly caused a very similar kind of suffering to my younger brother. So when my mum tried to get us to share things, like sharing time on the television, or sharing time on the computer, then I often had the habit of being very greedy. and not necessarily because I am disrespected my brother, but more that I had been suffering and kind of tortured by my family so much before that point that I I just needed anything in my life that could bring me joy, which in this case included computer games, and I wanted to maintain that joy for as long as I can. Um, so um, so that was one struggle, but I am also suddenly thinking that so far my answer to this video's question hasn't really communicated why the neurodivergence part contributed to my life challenges, and it sounds more like, okay, I came from a broken family, but I I think in a complex way all of these things are unrelated. So me being a neurodivergent person in in this type of I guess harmful culture and harmful family greatly amplified my suffering. So, so not only was I experiencing intense stress, I guess most of the time, I also did not know how to express that clearly, and I did not know how to ask for help, and I did not know who to ask for any support either. So so that kind of impacts a large part of my life, and that was the start of I guess what I would describe as a series of failed people interactions. Um, so so after so I try to have my biological mother tried to give me and my brother a I guess what she considered a good life by having us go through school and work hard and try to secure a future career. And to be kind of fair, I think this world, and just to be clear for context, after my parents divorced, my family temporarily moved to the United States of America, because that was where my mother's family were, or where my relatives were. And after the incidents that I mentioned between my parents, that was likely the safest place for my mother and me and my brother to live, at least in the short term. Um, and after some time, like after we lived in America for a short time, and after my mother spoke with her family, she decided she thought it might be best to move back to Australia to help raise me and my brother, because when she considered all things, she believes that America may not be as safe as Sydney, and also my mum believes that she may have been too busy trying to secure and maintain a financial income for the family in America, that she may not have enough time to to consume for helping to nurture me and my brother. Um, but 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 now that I look back, I don't think the events quite happens the way that my mother preferred, And what actually happened was that I observed my mother stressing out and trying extremely hard to make money so that our family could survive. And there was a time where we were quite financially poor, and we did not have much options, so we were quite desperate. But also my me and my younger brother were also kind of too young to be to be actively seeking jobs to try and make money. So that was a very challenging situation. But the only reason I raised that was because I suddenly remember that the initial intent that I remember my mother describing was that she intended to move back to Australia so that there would be a higher chance of safety for me and my younger brother as we go through school and try to find a future career. Um, um, but but um, but I but from my observations after that, it seems like most of her time was consumed with trying to earn money for the family. And I believe she rarely, or she seemed to rarely have the time and rarely have the willingness to help me develop and nurture the communication skills that I believe are very important for expressing various things, including expressing challenges, expressing needs, and expressing preferences, and how to reach mutual agreements. Um, so so shortly after the incidents between my parents, I did briefly go to school in America, and um, um, and things in my life just seem to always move fast because like I said before, that there was never really a sense of like stability for me. Um, so so in America, I did experience some of their culture, and I did observe differences to Australia. So, for example, the Americans get served food on trays, and their food options are not what I expected, which included things like small burgers, hash browns, and things like that. When in Australia, um, I remember that school that doesn't really serve us food. They have these small shops that they call canteens, and people there serve things like sausage rolls and small sweets, and typically the typically, the children would just go there to exchange some of their money for some food, but they do that at any time. But in America, they do kind of force people at specific times of day to I think go through their cafeteria system, and just like in a very orderly way, just queue up and collect food and just eat them. Um, but to be fair, on the Americans, I may be misremembering some of these details because I did experience this a very long time ago, like at least several years ago. So I may be remembering some of those details wrong. But to try and circle back to the to the question of this video. So so one of my challenges was I had a very very unstable family that caused me to feel fear, that caused me to feel anger, and kind of and I was consistently trying to wrestle with my very intense emotions, and I never knew how to communicate them, and how to support myself in ways that I needed most. So I continued I continued to progress through life as a growing teenager, and I also experienced struggles in high school as well. So for example, I was bullied by people, and I suddenly remember something that seems to be highly related to what I was talking about so far. But um, I I remember in the all boys high school that I went to, there was one time that we well, me and some of my friends at that time, we encountered some senior high school people, in terms of age, or like the school levels. So I might have been in like year seven, or year eight at that time, and those other people might have been like year nine, or year 10. And I do, and from their physical features, they seemed Asian as well. And I'm not trying to generalize, but this is kind of anecdotal evidence to support what I have said so far in this video. But one time, one of those senior high school boys, I believe, he lost his temper, and he spat on the face of one of my friends at that time. And I tried to support my friends by getting AM teacher involved. So I tried to find a teacher quickly, and share that there might be trouble happening with these specific boys. And I believe their teachers spoke with those boys, and then the boys suddenly became suspicious, and thought who might have told their teacher on them. So I think they quickly discovered that was me, as I was walking away from this scene, and they tried to gang up on me as well. So I think one of the boys pulled my hair from the back, and a second boy punched me in their stomach. So 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 that was I don't know if that experience itself was the atypical kind of traumatizing, but that was certainly very stressful, and gave me a sense that I was not really safe most of the time. So I was kind of a very or that kind of encouraged me to be a much more reclusive person, because it seemed to me like people my entire life just don't really care about me. Partly because as a young person growing up, I was moving around so much, and never had a stable friendship. And even when there were times where I believed I may have had a stable friendship with someone, then that still involved conflicts and misunderstandings. So that wasn't a great experience. And then later in my life, I moved to another high school. And I was already very stressed out, because I had established, I guess, some vague connections with the people from that all boys high school. I'm suddenly moving into a new high school at a senior level when most of those people probably have established friendships from their junior high school years. So it was kind of difficult for me to find and stick with friends, but I kind of stuck with a group of people that seemed to be the least or the most easy for me to join the group and not be too uncomfortable. So and then I clearly recall that during that high school time, I was also bullied by their people from that school. So because I was different, and because I often spoke or behaved in ways that were different to them, for some reason these other cultures or these other communities seem to believe they are doing a good thing by bullying people who are different and bullying people who don't fit into their community. So I don't know if this is some symptom of a larger problem with a misplaced sense of justice in a specific cultures or in specific communities. But the main thing I wanted to express was that was an added stress to my life because outside my control, I was in a new environment. I was with new people. I had pressure to study and work hard and maintain or try to achieve very highly in my academics, while trying to juggle multiple other activities that I struggled to juggle. So, for example, I believe my mum also made me engage in various like non-school activities for survival. So there was a time where I was learning karate. That there was a time I was going through swimming lessons, and I was also learning to play or I was having piano lessons with a teacher as well. So I was extremely busy in my teenage years, and the increasing pressure to achieve good academic results very much overwhelmed me, and I was struggling to try and manage multiple subjects at the same time, and trying to keep up with the volume of work that was being given to us students, and I was often losing my temper. I was expressing intense anger, and became violent against my younger brother, and that was partly because I was struggling to handle so much intense pressure from multiple directions nonstop. And I believe that was partly what destroyed the connection between me and my younger brother, because suddenly, from his perspective, I would imagine he does not feel very safe when he is alone with me, and I don't blame him. So so yeah. So long story short, to kind of summarize that part of my life, I experienced a broken family. My social connections were broken and are full of anger. My life was a complete mess. So I kept progressing through life I did not understand any better at the time. So after I completed my high school studies, I was suddenly studying in I was suddenly studying and experiencing my university life, and looking back now, I would say that most of my time that I consumed with my university related activities were a massive waste of my time. And when I look back, I did not really learn much from experiencing university. And me being the neurodivergent person that I was, I struggled to maintain a university life since my first day. So I believe this was partly because there was no smooth transition from high school to university for me, because high school was a very structured experience, relatively speaking, because there were organized classes at fixed times of each day, and I would just simply go to those classes each day. But in university, things were more open, much more open ended, and it seems like the university expected all of the university students to know exactly what they are doing, and expected them to be able to navigate the unknowns, and to navigate the challenges of university with, I guess not too much struggle. But for me, one way I would describe my university experience was kind of like high school on steroids. So with the classes I was in, I was given even more work than high school, and I had to learn so much new information that I I could not prepare for as well as I could, based on my younger experiences. So when I was very young, around my early teenage years, I was given tutoring sessions to try and help develop my math and my English skills, so that I can so that I could simplify the later years, or I guess increase my performance for the later years of my high school. But there did not seem to be a similar thing for university, and I was immediately dropped into so much unknown, so much challenges, and I was consistently failing my university courses. And that also caused me greater stress and greater disruption to my life, because up to that point, I was only taught by my own mother that the only way to have a successful life is to go through university, work extremely hard, and then that will lead to a financially stable future. But because times but because the time of my young adulthood might have been very different to the time that my parents came from, so that may have caused some kind of disconnect, and I was working with assumptions that weren't really true. So because I believed that university meant that was my entire future, I believe I may have experienced some kind of depression at some point in my university years, because I lost all hope that I could recover my I guess my assessments reporting, because apparently all of my grades, whether pass or fail, are they are all permanently recorded. And even if I try to take the same classes over and over, it really doesn't change that mark that much. So it kind of gave me this sense of being under pressure to be perfect, and doesn't really and this system doesn't seem to reward me for learning, and doesn't reward me from trying again, and kind of taught me that if I fail once, I should just give up on a life. So that was kind of the environment I was in. And partway through my university studies, I wanted to consume the mandatory break that students were given, which I believe was at most for 1 year. And I needed that time to try and just to slow down from this very fast paced experiences, and try to nurture my mental health better. And even after I finished that 1 year break from my university studies, I still I still wanted to have more, because it did not seem like I experienced enough of a break from all of the intense stress that I was constantly experiencing. So I think I somehow extended my break slightly more. And it may have been during that time where I was seeing one of the multiple psychologists or therapists that my mum tried to get me to see, because she seemed to believe that I have some anger management issues, and that she believes that I am needed to be fixed. That was I believe my understanding at that time. So after some sessions with one of their therapists, they suddenly drop a comment at the very end of one of the sessions saying, "Oh, I think you might have autism." So I never really valued my time with the psychologists or therapists that I was seeing in my young adulthood, because they seemed like they were just wasting my time, and they seemed like they were more interested in dragging out or trying to have more sessions with me than actually solving my challenges and solving my problems. And I was trying to be very, very open-minded, but after multiple years of engaging with I think roughly 8 or more psychologists or therapists, it seemed to me anecdotally that this was a big waste of my time and a big waste of my money. Well, I think my mum was a paying at the time, but it seemed like a big waste of time. And I later learned that I think these psychologists are trained to do this form of therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy, and I don't agree with that method, because that seems to be like trying to force a specific set of behaviors by teaching people how to attack their own brain, if that makes sense. And even though I had consistent challenges in my life, I still wanted to respect the genetic human that I was born as, and not really change myself because that would help me fit into other people's expectations. But if I were to engage into any kind of change, I strongly prefer having a clear understanding of why that change may align with some of my values. Um, but this cognitive behavioral therapy and these things were kind of an extension of my very stressful childhood experience, because similar to the Asian family construct, these psychologists were kind of like kind of telling me, well actually, one of my frustrations was that I think these psychologists did not give me confidence. They had any kind of they did not have any kinds of expertise to help me. And I remember one of my thoughts at the time was, what would most help me is if a psychologist could say, okay, Trevor, your behaviors seem to suggest these highly researched and known personality types, and that this is what we believe you may have, and if you agree that you may have this, then these are known challenges and known solutions that may support this kind of genetic brain type. I was wanting that kind of conversation, but instead what I received was these therapists were trying to ask me to, or expecting me to bring my own problems, and me trying to explain them. And they gave me extremely generic suggestions, like, oh, keep talking about this stuff, or if you feel anger, just let that out in small bursts and things. And I did try these suggestions, but none of these worked at all for me. So I think this might be some anecdotal evidence that I have these neurodivergent struggles, because these psychologists were trained to try and help most people, but because I unfortunately do not fit into that most people I guess box, then I quickly had a sense that these therapy sessions were giving me no value, and I vaguely kind of sensed that I think these therapists may have lost patience with me as well, because they probably did not expect me to be neurodivergent, or they probably did not expect me to be hyperactive. I'm not sure, but yeah, so that was another stress in my life, because I tried to seek help in ways that neurotypical people normally would, and one of those ways included seeing a psychologist or a therapist that was affordable and covered by a referral from my general doctor. But I received no value from that. So that gave me a sense that if I were to ask for help, nobody would help me. So I started to engage in a more self-diagnosis mindset, and I tried to search deeper in my memories and my experiences to try to identify what kind of person I may be, and to try to clearly identify what might be my challenges and what might be my strengths in various contexts. So I really lost hope that this world was built to try and help me, and I experienced this for some time. So I guess to try and circle back to the question of this video, I believe what I described is related, because one reason why my life was a struggle was because I tried to seek help and I did not receive the help that I needed. So so that is one reason why that was vaguely traumatizing to me, because when I was growing up, that there seemed to be an assumption or an understanding that public services existed to help people. So, for example, the police exist to protect the weak, and the law exists to deliver justice, and therapists exist to help remove emotional problems, and I did not have much hope that any person or that any group can or would help me. And even my own family were struggling to communicate with me, and I'm struggling to reach mutual agreements with me. So I had multiple meltdowns when I was living with my family, my biological family, partly because, or I think primarily because of my biological mother, and I think that is partly because she was also under enormous stress to desperately earn money for the family, and me and my brother weren't really earning money yet, and we were still in university. I'm trying to study, and I simply did not know how to express that I was struggling. I'm struggling too much with university, and that I needed enormous amounts of help. And I think unfortunately with Asian culture that there is a sense of shame where people are kind of encouraged to hide their own failures and hide their mistakes, because this kind of culture seems to put too much value on, I guess ego, and trying to present individuals or groups as having high status or high rank or high authority, and this kind of impacted my thinking when I experienced my most intense challenges in life. So so I did have a sense I was not very supported. And I recall that later, I did try to return to university, and I tried to continue my studies, but then one extra stress that also emerged was that I suddenly realized that I had been away from my university studies for too long, that I likely forgot most of the things that I was taught, and I was close to the end of my university degree, and I could vaguely foresee that I would experience extreme stress and extreme struggle to try and catch up with all of the knowledge that I needed, knowing full well that I was struggling each moment of my university life, and I would somehow have to create some miracle where I can catch up with my studies, somehow pass tests that I have been consistently failing, and somehow prove that after I've graduated, I am someone worthy of a business for them to hire me. So still lots of stress and pressures. I did not know what to do. I felt very overwhelmed, and I believe at one point in my life I actually kind of gave up on my life. Like I was so defeated by all these things, and I was taught that that the only option was to be high achieving with impossibly high standards, and actively being yelled at by my own mother each time I would fail to be imperfect. So that caused me great emotional damage, or like mental health damage. And there was a time where I literally I'm showering, like I stopped worrying about my hygiene, because I was so defeated by life. I was so defeated by my studies. I was defeated by a regularly disappointed mother, so that I just gave up. I didn't want to study. I just wanted to stay home and retreat to the small bubble of control that I actually had. So that went on for years, I believe at that time as well, I was also engaging with some government service that tries to finds employments for people who are disabled, or like disadvantaged. And similar to my therapy experiences, they largely were unhelpful to me, and those people did not really seem to care about I'm helping me find a job, and they probably put in the very minimal effort, and I was just regularly seeing these people just to be told that oh, we are still looking for a job for you. And I was starting to develop this understanding that the world seems too overpopulated, and that it would be unlikely I would secure a job, because I would be competing with so many people who have a much better experience, much better skills, and such. So I that my early adult years, and possibly most of my life was a very dark time for me, because there seemed to be intense struggles all the time. There was always struggles to learn and to do things on my own. That there were struggles to interact with people. That there were struggles with trying to meet very, very demanding expectations that I did not understand, or that I did not maybe value, or that I just did not want to do. So yeah, and just to fast forward in my life slightly further, to help answer the question of this video, more anecdotal evidence that that I was subjected to what people might consider the neurodivergent suffering is that I'm not sure if this is related to neurodivergence. I think there is some relation, but I clearly recall one time that I experienced a violent meltdown because I'm in my home with my mother, because we were struggling to communicate, and I believed she was not listening and supporting my perspective. And this wasn't their first time either. That there have been multiple times when we had conflicts because there seemed to be misaligned understandings, and I did not receive a sense of strong support from her. It seems like she wanted to I guess enforce her understanding of what she believed might be best for me, without really really including me in that process, and not really giving me like the opportunity to suggest things that she would agree with. So one time that I had a violent meltdown, and I picked up one of the dining table chairs, and threw that across the kitchen, and that almost hit my mother, very unintentionally, and that terrified her enough to call the police. And then soon after, the police arrives at that apartment home, and I was arrested, and they took me to the police station, and the police decided that that my mother was in danger. So they I forget what the correct phrase is. I think it might be a restraining order, but I was not allowed within a specific distance of my mother, and what that meant was that I immediately became homeless. Um, so so I needed a home. So my mother tried to patch up that mess by having me live in some hotel for a short time, because the police station discharged me. They did not want to lock me in there with the other jailed people. So I was homeless, and I could not stay at the police station. I could not stay at my one, and I'm only home up to that point. So I was staying at this hotel that for like a couple of days, which was very costly. And typically for me, after I experienced these violent meltdowns, I am extremely exhausted. So my voice was completely destroyed, or mostly destroyed. I had no energy. I just wanted to just sleep in bed all day. So I was just doing nothing over those 2 days in that hotel. And then somehow quickly later, my family found a government's like system thing where they try to take in they try to provide shelter for homeless people. And I was there for some time, and strangely enough, that vaguely wasn't like as much of a traumatizing experience as one might think. And I'm not sure if that is because of my neurodivergent brain, but being homeless in that context just meant that I was living in somebody else's shelter, which had shared public space, and with other homeless people, and I was being fed and each day, and given a bed and things. So that was always intended to be a temporary arrangements, but I was there for about 3 months, I think. So and my parents also sent me some of my things to help me like keep myself busy. So I think they sent me my iPad, and which had some, and I tried to download some really basic free games on the iPad because the nearby McDonald's and there was a shopping mall that I had to go through a long walk to get to, had this very slow Wi-Fi, and I tried to I tried to like download games to help entertain me, and I was listening to my music through that as well. And being separated from my mother actually seemed to bring me much joy as well. So so even though I did not have my personal computer, which I would normally engage with, I was alone in this shelter, and trying to just survive there. And I guess it helps that I have the genetic I introvert brain type. So I actually liked I mean living in a shelter that reminded me of some of my own childhood, where I was being taken care of by other people. So that was vaguely okay, but also gave me a sense of like what hope do I have for a future or for any future if my biological mother can experience so much fear that she would willingly call the police to do something to me. So that gave me less confidence. That seemed to send me a message that my mother was more terrified of me than she was supportive of me. And I guess in a way that is understandable because I have been subject to so much stress and pressure and so overwhelmed in my life, and not really knowing how to get the support that I need. And maybe my mum feared that I was following the same path that my biological father went. Um, so that was very unfortunate for me. That was like my biological family telling me that they kind of gave up on me. Um, but um, but after I was discharged from that shelter, there was really nowhere else to go. So I returned to that previous home with my biological family. And I I think, yeah, and I don't really speak with my family much, and it kind of kept there was always this I don't know how to describe this, but like some kind of hidden anger that is not really resolved. I wanted to, one part of me wanted to communicate and find a mutual agreement, but through repeated anecdotal evidence and through repeated through multiple conversations with my mother, it seems like she wasn't willing to be flexible enough to support me in ways that I need, or that she was stretched to her absolute limits, or that she had ran out of patience because she was still desperately trying to earn money. So or maybe all of those reasons combined. So this world was kind of like I think contributed to many challenges for my family and for me as well. Um, so that um, that did not help. Um, and 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 I believe one vaguely traumatizing part of that experience is that that kind of experience taught me that it seems like people don't really care about me. So I went through many experiences. I went through school. I went through studying, and I tried my best to interact with people, but I just could not socialize in ways that I liked, and I could not socialize in ways that other people seem to accept. So I naturally became a very isolated person. And what makes this even worse was that I tried to communicate with people on the internet as well. So there are online forums, and one of them was related to this computer game that I was deeply engaged in, because they had a set of tools that helped me to create my own maps, or to create my own games within that game, if that makes sense. And I was actively engaging in this online community that tried to or that was very very related to that. So other people like myself tried to build their own tools, and build their own mini games from this larger computer game, and they developed assets for the game. They wrote or they wrote simple logic, and we shared knowledge, and for some time I did enjoy that. But at some point I did permanently leave that space, because towards the end, it seems like I was bullied by those people as well. So for context, I decided at some point that one way I might give back to that community was to try and review the other mini games that other people made. And I tried to express clearly that I was a very very brutally honest type person, and that I often go into great detail to describe my game experiences. And I believe at the time, I think maybe many of these people were not very good at taking honest feedback. So so one of the common critiques I had were that were that the games they made were very very difficult to I guess install and like start up. Like they were not very very accessible to me. And when I described the experience, I mentioned very clear surface level things like the loading game loading time was too long. And then what happened was, I think some of these creators, tried to they tried to bully me by saying that, by making comments about loading screens, and trying to tease me like I am the only person who experiences those issues. So that was one vaguely traumatizing experience, because again I experienced this like social rejection, just because people did not like what I was saying. And I was prepared to go into a deeper conversation to understand, what was their problem, and why is there a problem, and can we agree on something. But these people chose to be aggressive, and I did not want to tolerate that, so I chose to permanently leave that. that space, and this has become a common pattern in my life, and and when and slightly earlier in my life, while I had this unstable no friends thing from the schools I attended, there were some people that I tried to be friends with that were like family friends, and they were trying to be supportive, who were mutual acquaintances with my biological father and my biological mother, and they were aware of the incidents that happened, to my biological mother. So their kids were or their children were around my age, and we just consumed time together as young teenagers do, or younger children do. Or no, actually between young child and a teenager, we were young but not too young, and the reason why I raised this was because that social connection also failed to be maintained. So I we did consume lots of time together. We had sleepovers. We played games together. But I but I believe there was some passive aggression happening as well, especially towards the end. But I thought this would be like a lifelong friendship type thing, and me being my younger self, did not really understand what that meant, and I would often perceive something as a long-term thing when I had not really really verified other important things, like can I trust this person? Do they want to have a long-term friendship with me, and things like that. So I was a very different person, or less knowledgeable person back then than I was now, and the reason why that failed was because one of those people had moved on with their life, and they were so busy with their university studies and their future career that we barely had time to consume together. And the a younger person in that family, he I that it was kind of complex, because I believe one time I did lose my patience, and I shared a comment that I believe was quite aggressive towards that person. And after I did that, I did experience some I'm not sure what the word is, maybe regret, but yeah, but since then, that person seemed to go through a big change, and suddenly became very competitive about every little thing, and at some point, I believe they were just becoming increasingly angry with me, but I was not aware of that. So at some point, when I tried to communicate with them on like a text messaging software like Steam, they consistently start to ignore my messages, or they start to show a pattern of ghosting, and that seemed to kind of passive aggressively sends me a message that they don't want me in their life anymore. And I could vaguely sense that, so I wanted to permanently leave people who I believe may not give me give me much value or give me much happiness in my life. So that was one case of that. Um, and then fast forwarding back to the future. I still had multiple struggles with my with connecting to my biological family, and especially after the incident where my mother called the police and had me homeless for some time. And even, I also recall sometime after that, I also experienced another meltdown in this new other home that we moved to, and it seemed like that terrified my mum so much. She literally paid for someone to install locks on her bedroom door. So clearly she was expressing that she had a sense of she was not safe while living in the same home with me, and she probably did not know what to do with me either. And I was consistently defeated by this world, and not knowing how, and not knowing how to secure a job, and not knowing how to secure like financial earnings. So it's been like a very long roller coaster of intense struggles. And I probably haven't described all of my challenges yet. That's mostly stuff from family, and challenges from people interactions, and challenges from the environment around me. And all of those challenges add up and kind of bleeds all over the place, which kind of made life very challenging for me. So that was all a giant hot mess, but um, I did become slightly lucky that the government agency that I mentioned that helps to find jobs for the unemployed people like myself. They found one advertisement about I'm searching for like neurodivergent people, or literally autistic people to apply for well, not really apply for a specific job, but to gather a group of autistic people who would be tested and shortlisted down to be recommended for specific businesses. And I went through that process, and at the end of that, through a series of events that eventually led to the current full-time job that I have now. So that is like one I guess fortunate or lucky experience in my life. Among a sea of challenges and suffering that I endured this whole time. And one small thing I wanted to mention is that this may be surprising to some people, and this is related to my trigger warning earlier in at the beginning of this video. So if you don't want to listen to this, now would be the time to mute the next couple or next few minutes of this video. So now I will say that the potentially triggering thing is that one way that I coped with this intense stress that may have massively broken most people was that I watched porn. Like many people might argue and debate about the negatives of porn, but for me, that was one of the few ways that I had to force my brain to relax, because because whenever I watch porn, I would not normally masturbate to it, and when I do, I would do that until I reach orgasm, and the like the biological process for the orgasm is like intense relaxation, and that helps to distract me from the stresses of my life. And some computer games were also a way I tried to cope with life as well. And I was kind of lucky too that I think my genetic brain type makes me hyper focus on specific things very easily. So if I were to choose to point my hyper focus in a specific a specific direction, and if I land that hyper focus on some activity that brings me joy, then I am easily forget about the world around me while I am experiencing that joy. So yeah, so that's some insight into why why my life has been extremely difficult. And this is for multiple reasons. I don't think this is a simple one thing or one person caused all of this. I believe this is more a complex combination of this environment, the culture that my parents came from, the way people solve problems socially. This might be related to the way education is executed. This might also be related to to their problems with capitalism. So all of these problems added up caused individuals like me at the very low end to experience these extreme struggles and challenges. So things did not, and to add to things, my life is still a struggle, especially when I more recently discovered that I have persistent executive functioning challenges. So what that means for me is that no matter how hard I try, there will always be a massive portion of my short-term memory that will fail, and that I will always need an atypical way to function and to thrive. And one of my other unfortunate and also vaguely traumatizing experiences was that through the same program that I started my first job, was that I did meet with and speak with and interact with these other autistic or these neurodivergent people, and for some strange reason, after spending enough time with them, I experienced a very similar pattern with my social experiences with other people earlier in my life. So that includes my internet interactions I described. That includes my university and high school. So in this case, with this new neurodivergent group, I like before I spent too much time with them, I had new hope. I was hopeful that with my new understanding about autism, that maybe I can find like-minded people who I won't feel frustrated with, and that I can share stories and share experiences with, and develop a true long-term friendship. But what happened was that also completely failed. So I consumed a significant amount of time with them, and I was just being my natural self, and I thought things were going well, and suddenly these people become more passive aggressive towards me. So they express clear frustration with me. Some of them even directly say I am annoying to them, and they find it very difficult to tolerate me when I'm trying to engage with them or trying to communicate with them. And so and so and because they try so hard to be polite, I believe they forget to respect their own needs in a mutually respectful way. And because they were hiding their emotions, I did not I did not sense these issues until the very end, when they could not contain their emotions anymore, and they became kind of verbally abusive towards me. So that was vaguely traumatizing as well, because I thought neurodivergent people would be easier to communicate with and build a friendship with, compared to all of the failed social experiences in my life before that. But that still failed. And to make things worse, it's not just these neurodivergent people who lost patience with me, but also the there are some of these organizations in Australia, Sydney, who try to advocate for getting jobs for autistic people. And I have interacted with representatives from two of such organizations, and I also discovered that those people lost patience with me as well. So unless I am some kind of sociopath, psychopath person that all people just like to hate, or they have their own issues that they are struggling to manage and struggling to communicate, or both, or some of it, and later I did receive vague hints that these people were probably having their own life struggles. And much later, after I decided to permanently end my contact with these people, who I thought would be supportive of people like me, I had discussions about human psychology and various things with another supposed, or someone who believes they may be neurodivergent, and apparently. It seems like most people in this world are broken in some way, because the world has either traumatized them, so that when I interact with them, I probably remind people of their triggers, and I've learned that anecdotally that there may be also another kind of trigger, where me being the open and very honest person that I am, may also reflect people for who they are, and maybe many people are not very comfortable seeing the reflection of themselves through interactions with me, if that makes sense. And to be fair on me, I'm not trying to make people feel uncomfortable. I'm doing my best to cope and survive in a world that never really supported me when at multiple points in my life when they would have been most helpful. So and I've tried to develop a strong sense of like, oh no, or to develop a lifestyle of like strong independence, and I try to express myself very clearly and very confidently. So I guess if I am communicating with very reserved or very reoppressed people, maybe that makes them feel uncomfortable being reminded of the people they wish they could be. But even then, that is just one part of a set of problems. And I think we also have I think for a very long time this world has not had a strong culture of teaching people how to listen and how to help, and teaching people how to care for each other. And my guess is one of the problems we have is that capitalism drives people to desperately survive just for themselves. And I also had a vague sense, even from my biological mother, that many people weren't really forming true friendships. People were just trying to form business business opportunity type connections, and to me that seems very unethical. And I did not like the idea of being encouraged to treat people like they were my path to a higher financial status in life. And so and so that was one reason why I had conflicts with my biological mother, because she was engaging in all sorts of behaviors to try and make money or try to earn money for the family, and she was trying to teach me the same things that she does, and I did not agree with all of that. Um, so I think I might have gone on another tangent. It sometimes can be a struggle for me to stay on. No. To be accurate and precise, I believe often it is a struggle for me to focus, because my brain typically has these pattern jumps, and any vaguely related thought that I have while I'm talking about one thing, my brain immediately wants to go there and describe that in great detail, and then incidentally I discover a new connected related thought, and then my brain jumps there, so it just keeps going and going nonstop. Um, but um, but yeah. So to circle back to that previous story, I seem to be having a seemingly endless socially, emotionally traumatic experience, because the neurodivergent people and my own biological family and organizations that passionately want to find jobs for autistic people, they all have expressed some form of frustration or rejection with or rejection of me at some point. So it really I and partly because of my experiences, I often experience much happiness just being alone, because why would I risk my mental health and risk my happiness with people who do not want to communicate with me, who don't want to share things with me, and don't want to help me understand how we can help build a stronger friendship for both sides. And I had absolute zero interest in shallow people connections where we only talk with each other once every 5,000 years, and we don't try to mutually connect on a deeper level. Um, so so that so that's one reason why I permanently leave specific people. And just to make things worse, I experienced a similar social situation that was even more traumatic for me. So to fast forward later in time, I decided to join a Facebook group that seemed to be for neurodivergent people, and my intent was to search for a like-minded person who I could develop a long-term friendship with, which I probably was trying to achieve this kind of friendship for my entire life. So I I went through their process. I believe the Facebook group says that you have to apply, and their own moderators that they asked me a couple questions, and their moderators have to decide if I am if people are allowed to join the group and read the chat, which wasn't a problem to me at first, because that they are probably doing that to try and protect some of their people in there. But after I joined, I tried to build on my knowledge, and build on my many failed experiences before that. So I tried to express extremely clearly very early on that that I was a very specific personality type, and that I highly valued very open and very clear communication, and that if we both agree to work towards a long-term friendship, then I believe we can plan and solve many things now by just communicating and learning more about each other. And what I did not realize at the time was, I think I may have accidentally triggered some people, because I received some fairly passive aggressive comments from people. Probably because I reminded them of their own relationship experiences, but to me, not knowing that, and me normally approaching new friendships in ways that I believe are most mutually respectful, by not assuming anything, and trying to work from a foundation of listening and learning and growing small understandings of strangers to bigger understandings. So I was kind of bullied from the very beginning, and I could sense after some time that I think my confidence wasn't dropping. I clearly recall that there was this one person in that Facebook group. She was very actively targeting me and trying to I guess devalue much of the things that I was talking about when it comes to building friendships. So that was not helpful for my mental health, and to make things worse, well, not necessarily I'm making it, but I think very unfortunately, in a complex way, I was also not really aware about intense emotional triggers, and my general principle is to normally test the limits of things and fail fast so I can learn, and when I apply that to a group of people who have been traumatized in the past, that is very unfortunate for those people, and I did not realize that at the time, and partly why I choose to communicate so freely is so that I can try to attract like-minded people, or to attract people who are more likely to accept me for who I am, and more likely to build a long-term friendship with me, with that and I try to clearly express I was only interested in people who would consent to that, and when I was talking in this Facebook group, for some reason these people seem to suggest I was pressuring and I'm forcing these people to engage with me, and I was trying hard to explain things, but I mean explain my perspective clearly, but it seemed like these people were not listening, and they were just very fixated on some kind of fear. um, and I did not learn until later with several conversations that probably much of these people were triggered and just not thinking straight. So and what eventually uh, made these interactions more of a problem for us was that I decided to share a sexual comment in that Facebook group. Partly because I did notice another person in that group did they they also made sexual comments, and partly because I was trying to continue being myself, so trying not to be trying to let go of my fears and just letting myself express myself freely, and also trying to find people who might be like-minded, or might have a similar level of emotional maturity as me. Um, but unfortunately, I accidentally intensely triggered many people in that Facebook group, and at least and there was one person in that group who responded with extremely verbally abusive comments. And that was so stressful to me that I even considered suicide from that experience, um, because the way they responded to my message made it sound so dramatic, like I had just murdered half the entire planet, and because they responded in such a dramatic, aggressive way, and because I coincidentally have a personality type where I don't want to bring harm to people. That experience convinced me that somehow I was this some kind of monster that was bringing trauma to people. So for some time, I thought that this world might be a better place if I was no longer in this world, because of how these triggered people responded to me. But fortunately, I spoke with a colleague from my full-time job, and they helped to convince me that suicide would not be the best answer in this situation. So that traumatized me, because I no longer wanted to engage with that group of people anymore, because there was a consistent pattern of verbal abuse, or like excessive distrust of me, and especially when I had the mindset of high hopes of searching for a long-term friend, and I tried extremely hard to communicate to the best of my ability, to try and reduce people's concerns. I tried to explain my intent. I tried to explain my perspectives. I tried to explain my understanding, and I challenged other people's ideas, because that is what my preferred way to interact with people is that I often ask, why do things have to be this way? And these people just don't seem to cope with that very easily. And so basically I was rejected by a seemingly traumatized and very neurodivergent community. So looking back on my life, it seems like the entire world rejects me. My biological family rejected me. My peers in school rejected me. The police rejected me. Other neurodivergent people rejected me. So I'm basically some kind of alien. Like what on earth am I supposed to do? So I just so that so I from that moment I decided to permanently never engage with Facebook ever again, because that will always reminds me of that experience. And a similar thing did happen with Discord as well. So with Discord, I was engaging with neurodivergent people, and at some point that they just became very passive aggressive towards me, and they became quite verbally abusive, with no clear explanation and no clear expression of a willingness to nurture our friendship. And I foresee that I will never be happy with abusive people, because they are consistently expressing that they will not listen, or that they do not want to share, and do not want to help make the friendship easier. And so it seems like many people are not ready to have a long-term friendship with me, because that would involve us becoming very close, and that would mean we share our challenges, we share our strengths, we share our experiences, we share our natural selves. And I believe I am prepared for that, because I want to build a strong long-term friendship, at least once in my life. But I have consistently experienced, I guess broken friendships, because other people have not, I guess received their own support, and that they probably have their own stories and things that they have never explained to me. So so maybe to answer this question from this video in a more accurate way, maybe some of my biggest traumas were my social interactions, but in a very complex way. Those social traumas are also related with my neurodivergence, and are related to in cultures and ways of doing things and systems that I am not compatible with, which amplifies those challenges and stresses for me. And my life experience, for the most part, has me just flailing around, not knowing what the next step is, and just trying very hard to just be happy in a world that just wants to beat me up. So and I think I can vaguely relate to some of how other people seem to cope with their life challenges. Like I recall recently watching a very small piece of some interview with the male actor from the from that TV show, the Office, the American version, and I believe the character's name was Dwight, and during this interview, he describes that he also had a very unfortunate life experience, and how he copes with that was he looked towards comedy and humor. So he could choose to be negative his entire life, or he could try to look at the funny side of things. And I may have adopted a similar coping strategy. So I think I depended on my personal sense of humor, or or the positive side of my experiences, just to help reminds me that I guess I am still sane, or that maybe I have a chance at some kind of future that I value. So yeah, so I, I don't know if I did a good job of answering the question that I tried to answer in this video, because this dived into multiple complex related experiences, and I tried to stay focused, but I probably I was not focused enough. But as a vague long story short, my life was vaguely and mostly traumatizing. The social experiences were very poor. I did not have much stability in the literal sense for most of my life. Not much emotional stability, not much friendship stability, not much financial stability, and just trying to cope with moments of joy or happiness, and just hyper fixating on those to try and to distract myself, and always having this sense that life is always I'm struggle for me. And I'm not saying that my life was like 100% terrible, and that everything, and I'm not saying that all things failed at the same time equally. But for example, I was lucky to have the full-time job that I have now. But yes, but before that, it really was a random chaos mess that I really had no person and no thing to turn to for help. And I was often most happy when I was alone with my personal computer, and doing things and engaging in activities at my own pace. So either playing my computer games, or watching YouTube videos, and listening to other people's stories and experiences. So yeah, so I probably did not do a good job of explaining why neurodivergence experiences great struggle. But I at least described why my life was a great struggle, as someone who I believe I am neurodivergent, which contributes to my intense struggles. And anecdotally speaking, this impacted or became larger problems when I was also trying to manage other challenges in my life as well, including social interactions, culture clashes, disagreements, and systems that don't really help people like me, in ways that would be much better. And unfortunately, having to depend on like other disadvantaged people to share their experiences. And even with my interaction with other supposed neurodivergent people, those interactions also failed, and there seemed to be a mutual rejection between those people. So my experiences have clearly given me anecdotal evidence that I am very alien in this world. I am alien to this world's systems, and I am alien to the people in this world, including alien to divergent people as well. So I don't I don't feel like upset about this at the moment, because what happened in the past has happened, and I try to focus on a more positive future. But I believe one of my intents for this video is to just share a piece, or share my experiences with life, in case in case this is helpful for people to be aware of, or if this might help to drive positive change in their future, to help prevent more people from going through the same suffering that I did. So yes, so I probably did not explain all of my life challenges, and all of my intense struggles, but I may have mentioned many of them. Um, but I also don't want to make this YouTube video go too long, because I I I could probably be easily talking about this all night, and I do want to go have my sleep soon. Um, so with that, I will say good night to all you people. If you are in Australian Sydney time, or I guess anywhere else, I'm good night from my part of the world, and um, I wish that we are all happier people. I wish that we are all better supported people, and that one day we have some kind of utopia where people aren't aggressively competing for money, and competing for control. And I just wish that people could more easily lead a happier life, so that we don't have to have the same experiences like I did, because multiple parts of this world, and the cultures and the environments just failed, and just added all those things up to cause me to experience multiple meltdowns. So yeah, so thanks for watching.